I do want to remind you guys, next Sunday is our 16th anniversary party. Okay, yeah. We're going to be licensed to drive next Sunday, all right? And so you guys make sure you invite your friends. There's going to be great testimonies. We're going to have a big party afterwards. The Spanish venue is making us lunch, right? You know what that means, right? Extremely spicy, very authentic food for all of us, and it's unlike any place you'll ever go. You can't buy this in anywhere around Little Rock. But, you know, as we've been reflecting over the last 16 years, the elders yesterday and Friday, we spent Friday evening doing dinner together, and just the stories that have come out as we've journeyed together for the last 16 years are amazing. And we've been highlighting some of those as we go along. And I wanted to show you a video before we have our close and before we do our offering. That's just probably the most humbling story I've ever heard since I've been here. So I want you to prayerfully watch this and give God some credit for his sovereign power. This is a very impactful healing story.
I work at the Myeloma Institute at UAMS. The UAMS Myeloma Institute is focused on treating patients around the country, around the world with multiple myeloma. Multiple myeloma is a cousin to lymphoma and leukemia. Unlike those two diseases that are blood connected, multiple myeloma also affects the bones, so you end up with crippled, sometimes even paralyzed patients where their bones have crumbled and the nerves and structures that were there get damaged or destroyed. It was clear that these folks were pretty lost, kind of empty emotionally and at the end of the road. Miss Lima had myeloma for a couple of years. The doctors in Miami had basically said, there's nothing more for you to do. This disease will take your life. Her daughter started looking around and discovered the Myeloma Institute in Little Rock and decided that before they would give up completely, they'd come to Little Rock to see what we had to offer. And somehow in that initial interview, I don't normally invite patients I meet to church that could create some problems for me. But it was very clear, because I was connected at Mosaic, that I knew that the Latino community here at Mosaic, for whatever amount of time they were in town, would be supportive.
The first time I got here, I remember the first visit when we came to Little Rock was through Lori, when we came to Mosaic. That day I came to church. That was obviously before I was supposed to go to the doctor. And I knew there was something there that was telling me, you're going to be healed. You don't have anything. And I prayed and I bowed my head, and I knew someone was telling me that. You're going to be healed. You're going to be healed. You do not have anything. You do not have cancer. And I left that place, and believe me, I left that place crying. From the big point that we walked into the church, something was speaking to me. I would close my eyes, and I knew something was telling me. I knew something was telling me I was going to be healed. And the next day, that's when I went to the hospital.
The workup that Miss Lima did included an MRI, which looks at the state of the bones as they were when she arrived, and that test showed well over 100 holes and lesions where the myeloma had been and done its damage. The second test they did was a PET scan, and PET scan specifically looks at what disease is active. Amazingly, when I looked up the results on that Monday morning after church, the PET scan demonstrated, yes, there had been well over 100 lesions, but there was no active myeloma. That's not normal. That was clearly God's fingerprints.
And 3 or 4 days went by, that I had the test run, and finally we found out that no, you have no cancer. And I cried so much, and I'm so grateful to God, all powerful, because He's the one that saved me. He's the only one that will save me. I am fine. I went to the doctor, and I've gotten back surgery, and I walked out of there walking, and I am still walking, and it has been 9 months. I've been in a wheelchair, and here in Little Rock, I'm walking again.
100 lesions don't empty out over the course of a weekend. God was clearly involved.
And when I want to sing, I don't want to sing in my wheelchair anymore. I like to stand up because I feel like God is telling me stand up, and I stand up and I sing and I have fun, and I am so happy. I'm just so joyful that God, all powerful, has made me feel what I feel, and not only just from inside but also from the outside. And we have found some wonderful brothers that support me, and I am so happy, really. I'm very happy that I don't want to leave this place. I want to say thank you. I leave just knowing that I'm going to return. I'm going to return very soon because God is with me. God is helping me. And only God is the only one that I walk for.
That is such a humbling story, isn't it, of an awesome, powerful, sovereign God. That was in 2005, and I'll never forget that morning that she walked into the church and how that whole healing happened that next week, and she wasn't able to come to church the next Sunday. And then all of a sudden I heard she was leaving. She was expecting to be here for 6 months. She hadn't walked in 9 months because the cancer had eaten her back. But after there was no cancer, they did some minor repair on her back, and she was walking by the end of that week. And so then I found out she was leaving, and so me and Elizabeth Ortega ran over to her apartment and got that interview before she could leave. And we lost touch with her probably 3 or 4 years afterwards, but she was in full remission for many years. And it's just the power of our God. When I watch that, I'm so humbled. The first time we showed that in front of the whole church, nobody could talk after they saw it because they were all there when that happened. It was just so humbling. God is so good, isn't He?